Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another episode of the Fanzone Podcast. This time it's episode 36. Of course, joined by Colin and Ange, but we are, of course, joined by a very special guest in the one and the only David Wheater. Thank you very, very much for joining us.
No problem. Anytime.
It's a pleasure to have you with us, and I'm sure the viewers are just as excited as we are. But we will kick off things. I'm sure there'll be a few coming in as we go through. No we'll have to get started with one though. So every time we get a guest on, we ask a question. It's almost like an initiation, and I'm sure you've done a fair few of those over your time. So imagine you're waking up on perhaps a Sunday morning and you're fancying a full English. What goes on your plate? So start to finish, what consists of full English?
Well, the usual, but I'll tell you what won't be: mushrooms and tomatoes. No place on a brekkie.
Wow, really?
Sausages, bacon, fried and scrambled eggs, beans, hash browns, black pudding.
Is that your retired? Is that your retired breakfast, Dave? After you retire, and what was it when you were playing?
That's just nearly breakfast I have every morning now.
That's just a light pre-training breakfast.
You can't beat it though, can you? With a cold Red Bull and a cup of tea, sorted.
It's a good lineup, to be fair. I can't knock it.
Yeah,
double egg choice.
Yeah, because I like scrambled, but you need a fried egg, don't you?
You need it dippy, don't you? You gotta have it. Yeah. Gotta have yolk.
Yeah, yolk.
What about
toast as well? Obviously, yeah. White toast.
Oh yeah. Can't knock it. What about poached eggs? How would you feel about those?
Not bad. They're just a bit boring. A bit boring. All the avocado crap and all that.
You heard it here first. Like you said, you've done a fair few initiations. What is the worst one you've seen? I mean, it'd be nice to get a Bolton specific one. Who's the worst you've seen rock up Bolton and knock some shit out?
Well, Philip Moraes has done a couple. I've been obviously at Bolton and Oldham when he's done his Phil Moraes, and he does this rap where he says he made it up when he was younger, about 16, and it's just horrific. Like it's like a gangster rap thing, like one of them. What is it, drill music or something? It's like one of them, but
original.
Yeah, he's made it up, so it's all rubbish about him, where he used to live and all that.
You must have a recording of it somewhere on your phone or something.
I did. It was on my stories, so it'll pop up once a year.
Try and dig it out.
I'll try and find it. I tell you, it was bad. Jonathan Grounds was bad as well. He just didn't know what to do with his hands. You know, when you get nervous and your hands are like you're just doing weird stuff. He was in that. He had him on his hips, but he was like singing, but with both hands on one hand on each hip, and he just didn't look entertaining. But yeah, they were bad ones.
Who knew Phil Moraes is a part-time MC on the side?
Yeah, he'll have it. If you tweet him or something, I'm sure he'll have one. Or he might do it for you live.
I'm going to say, maybe we'll have to invite him on, and instead of asking him what he has on a full English, we'll just get him to do his rap.
Don't tell him I said it was bad. Just say, Dave said, yeah, brilliant, best one going, and then he might do it for you.
Liam in the chat has asked, did he have a dance routine as well?
Me or Phil?
Phil.
I've had a few dance routines. Nah, just all that and the guns and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. No, yeah. He went in full routine, full gangster routine, but he's just not gangster.
He was a better crosser of a ball than he was a rapper then, yeah?
Yeah, he wasn't a bad crosser, was he? Flipping it. He was all right, that. Very good, wasn't he?
You got your Swede on a few of them, didn't you?
No, you didn't have. You just seemed to just know where to put it. That game at Gillingham, he got all 4 assists, didn't he?
Yeah. Was that something you and Mark Beavers worked on from his deliveries?
Oh yeah, we've done set pieces every day, and then worked on them longer on the Friday before match day. And people always used to ask me in interviews, is it luck that you're getting on the end of all these? It's not. It's we're working on where to go, and we weren't conceding that season either. And we were working on the defensive side. So yeah, we worked on it, and we just all knew where to go, and we knew where he was going to put it as well.
In terms of defensive partners, obviously you've got Beeves that you were talking about. Like, obviously, you played with Gary Cahill, didn't you? Like, did you enjoy your football more with Gaz Cahill or with Beeves?
I think I probably played better football with Beeves, but then you think it was obviously League One, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Playing with Gaz when I was in the Premiership, it was every game is just class in massive stadiums full of fans, and that's where you want to be playing in the Premiership. But yeah, that League One season was class. I mean, I think we nearly broke a few records for clean sheets. It's good for me. I won most of the awards in that year, so
you did, yeah.
Can't really complain about that year.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it more in League One or Prem? Is that a daft question to ask?
No, it's not daft. But you enjoy football when you're winning, so it was probably League One, to be honest. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but as soon as you win games, you forget what league you're in. You just keep going on a run and keep going. And yeah, it was.
Is it a better atmosphere though, Dave? Like when you're in them smaller stadiums, when you've got you're almost on top of the pitch as fans, aren't you? Is it a better atmosphere than?
He's
not turned his phone off.
One sec.
It's Phil Murray saying he'll do it.
Who is it?
It must be it's his landline.
Phil Murray popped up. Oh, flipping it. It'll go off in a minute. Hang on.
Put him on. Who is it? We'll have a chat with him.
It's the neighbour. Olivia, come get your iPad. Come get your iPad. Because it's ringing. There it is then. Sorted. I closed it down. Come say hello.
Hello.
I close the door.
It's Wigan calling, Chris has said in the chat.
Gone up there. Sorry, what was your question there?
All right, I was just saying for atmosphere, are those smaller stadiums where everything's a bit more compact better than the big massive stadiums?
I prefer to play at the big stadiums. Like obviously, you're at Old Trafford and Anfield and stuff like that, so you want to play there. But yeah, like when Beeves scored last minute at Southend, small stand, it was just carnage, wasn't it? And you can hear more, especially when you're playing bad. You can hear all sorts. But when you're playing good, you can hear the good stuff as well. So I suppose it works both ways. But it's them League One grounds or the changing rooms horrific. Most of them. Our stadium shouldn't have been in League One and League Two. A few seasons after that was just crazy. But it was good playing at any ground. Really, as long as you're playing and winning, you enjoy it.
Were you bothered about that, like as a player? Because obviously you felt that, wouldn't you? That playing at the elite level in terms of facilities and stuff, and then dropping to League One. Did you feel it, or were you not that asked?
No, I'm not bothered. I mean, obviously at Darlow this year we played at the local rugby team that we played at their ground. We share it with them, so that was nothing special. I'm just not bothered. I mean, other players might be a bit big timer than me and complain about stuff, but you got to get on with it, don't you? And you don't want that name that you are a big time Charlie, I suppose. So you just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Premier League in general, what was that feeling like coming out with Middlesbrough to make your debut in the Premier League? Obviously, you'd been around for quite a while, a few loan moves, and made your way through to the first team. I think it was actually a loan spell with Darlington that sort of put you in the limelight. What was that feeling like walking out onto the pitch for the first time, knowing you're representing Middlesbrough, sort of a boyhood club in the Premier League?
Nah, like everyone knows that I play ball. Played from it's you just know your family all there, friends, people that know you. Every game's going to be there. And you play a game, you're 5 minutes and you're at home. And it's a team I was obviously had a season ticket to, watching for many years. So, and you're watching them and you think, I'm never going to be a footballer. It's like it's like they're aliens footballers. And people they walk past you and they'll go, it's David Wheater. Like, it's like you're not a real person sometimes. But that's what I felt like watching. Obviously, it was Ravanelli and Janino for playing for Middlesbrough. But yeah, to play there, it's just class. Honestly, it's unbelievable.
Do you still get that feeling now as a fan going to the Riverside?
Yeah, was there yesterday with my family, missus and my 2 kids. It's just class. Obviously, people still come up to you. One old lady came up to me and said, "Thank you for being a brilliant player." I was thinking,
Oh,
I don't know, what do you say to that? He said,
thanks.
yeah, no problem. I didn't know what to say. Thank you. I just want to say it was just trying my best. But yeah, it's brilliant to go out there. My little lads, it was just a shame that we couldn't walk. They weren't a bit older and walk around the stadium with them at the Riverside on one of them lap of honours. But they did it a couple of times at the it was the Macron then, wasn't it? So yeah, glad they got to do that.
It's always the Reebok, Dave.
Always the Reebok, innit? Yeah. But was it now the Tough Sheet in it, or is that next season?
It will be next season, yeah.
Yeah,
Mark
Sheet Community Stadium.
Marketing genius, that Dave. Marketing genius.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you about Middlesbrough. Obviously, we played them in 2004, didn't we, in the League Cup final?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to that as a Borough fan, or were you involved?
Yeah, I was there. We were in and around the first team, like training with them, but I was like only 17. And we just won the Youth Cup, so the club was like quite in a high. So it might be the other way around. No, yeah, I think we just won it, and then it was after. But yeah, as soon as they scored them 2 goals, but that the penalty would have got took again or given a free kick away now, wouldn't it? He kicked twice, so we got lucky. Then Schwarzer pulled one in from suit with Kev, didn't he? So we give you a chance at least.
It's I suppose looking back, there must have been some really good memories, obviously, of your time at Middlesbrough. One that I wanted to touch on was Bristol City in the FA Cup. It's a highlight of your Wikipedia page that you saved them with a goal. Obviously, he's gone.
Oh,
we've lost him.
Why not?
I mean, yeah. Someone's just put in the chat, his internet's still making its way up to Middlesbrough. See if we get
somebody's probably rang his house phone, it's cut off.
Yeah. It's not dial up.
The chat can fire the questions in then while we wait for him to.
There's a couple on.
You absolutely can. If you've got any, whilst we wait for him to jump back on, we will get your questions in.
Which broadband provider do you use?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, really good. Yeah, you have to set him up for that one, Ben, when he comes back.
Yeah.
He's going watching City and Real
Madrid.
Yeah,
City Madrid.
Champions League match.
Well,
it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Have you all with us as always?
Again, yeah.
Thanks for joining us. It's not quite who you expected to see here, but there we go.
Yeah, is he coming back on?
Yeah, we've got him. Back again.
Yeah, we're getting good internet in next week. Next week we're getting our internet sorted.
Hey!
We get like 8 megs here. We get, I think. So I'm on my hotspot on my phone, so it should be all right.
Do you not ring? Right. Do you not want to ring your provider up and say, "Do you know who I am?"
It's Sky. I've told them millions of times the Wi-Fi is terrible, but they just don't think they're bothered. They just take our money for anywhere, don't they?
Yeah, as long as you're paying the bills.
Exactly.
So obviously you've had a few good memories over at Borough. What I suppose there's some standouts. One that I wanted to touch on is Bristol City in the FA Cup, scoring to sort of win the game and put Middlesbrough through to the next round. What is that feeling like? Obviously, because I suppose you've talked about this a million times to people, but from people who aren't in the game and aren't involved with it at the level, obviously, that you were, what is that feeling like?
There's no feeling like scoring. People like say about defenders like keeping clean sheets is the best thing. It's not. No. Honestly,
rubbish.
It is rubbish. There's nothing like scoring a goal. That's what you play football for, isn't it? To score goals when if you start as a kid, you just want to score all the time. So, yeah, I mean that goal, it was a decent goal. I played it to the right back, and I just kept going. I don't know why. I just felt like it was going to come to me, and it played it down line the right way, cut it back, and just passed it in. And Matt Letizia called it Beckenbauer-esque. So,
I
know.
If you're getting that from him, then tell you what.
I think my dad messaged me on my Nokia or whatever it was back then, and he said, Matt Letizia called you like Franz Beckenbauer. So, yeah, not too bad of a compliment.
The only way it's down from there, Dave, isn't it, really?
Oh, yeah. That started way up high there, didn't it?
So, shall I just do a couple of questions from the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Chris Dawson asks, what's the worst grief or heckle you've ever received? Not on Twitter by Ukrainian Pod.
I'm not bothered about heckles whatsoever. You've probably seen me on Twitter giving a few people back. What's he called? Bolton Pav.
Ukrainian Pav.
Yeah. Do you know who that is, Dave? Do you know who that is?
GC.
Yeah, what's he? Gaz something. Yeah, dafty, isn't he? But
Phil Parkinson trying to wind you up.
I know, yeah. But I just get hammered for my chin, obviously chin and nose. But I'm thinking, does he think he's the first one to say that? Because they say it and they're all buzzing, and I'm thinking, come on, mate, think of a new one.
A bit more original.
Yeah. I used to have a little nose before the striker started elbowing me. That I think I broke it about 5 times now, so that's why it looks like this.
If you just stay exactly where you are now, you'll be fine. We won't.
I'm all right. I'm all right straight on. It's when I go sideways. You can see
it. Chris Burton asks, "What's the best player you've ever played against?"
Against.
Can I stop you, Dave? A sec. Don't say Ronaldo if you're going to say him. Think of somebody else apart from him.
No, I was going to say he's obviously him, but not on the day. Right. So he is the best player I played against. Obviously, not played against Messi, and Messi's better than Ronaldo. So, I think
come on again.
Prime Torres was a big problem. Yeah, so I'd probably say him.
And then AP, I'm not sure that is, might be a new viewer. Do you miss Fanny's week?
He's my little lad. Sorry.
Oh,
hi, pal.
Hi, pal.
Are you going to be a better footballer than your dad?
He started, Go on, off your pop. Go on, get out.
How old is he, Dave?
You out.
Bye.
Close the door. Honestly.
How old is he?
He's 6. He's 7 in a couple of years. He's a good player, yeah. He's a tough tackling defender, but he wants to go up front. But we've been trying to tell him that you just don't get all the glory. You do your job at the back and get a nose like me.
Yeah. Have they got into the wrestling yet?
No, I've tried. It's good. Since we moved back here, we're building a house, so it's taking a bit of time. But all my wrestling figures at my mum's house in storage, so I haven't had a chance to get him out for just a couple of years. But now he's getting to that age, I'm gonna have to start showing him a bit of TLC matches and stuff like that, aren't I?
It's not as good as it used to be, though, is it? It's going to be hard for you, isn't it? It's not like you've got Bubba Ray and
yeah. I'll take it. I've got the network, so I'll just take him back to the Attitude Era. Yeah, got to, haven't you? Start there. Start on a high.
Yeah. Just try and avoid Sable and all the females from your little boys.
Crikey,
white so young,
I remember watching them when I was like in year 10 and year 11. Jesus Christ. Thought I was going to go blind.
Liam has asked in the chat, Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior?
Flipping it, the dog's in now. One sec, let me chuck him out. Mojo, will you take charge of these things?
You can tell it's live.
Out of them two, they were never my favourites. They were just probably about before I started watching it. But you got to say Hulk Hogan out of them two, haven't you?
Just for the cash.
One of the great.
You're similar age to me. So you'll be like Stone Cold and The Rock, won't you? That'll be
yeah. Stone Cold, The Rock, yeah. Well, I started watching it about 94 when obviously Bret Hart was champion.
Bret Hitman Hart. I know him.
Bret Hitman Hart, yeah. Shawn Michaels, and then obviously Stone Cold and The Rock.
That's a screw job, in it? That era? Is that when they did that big screw job?
Yeah, Survivor Series '97, Montreal.
Montreal.
Or was it right? Proper screws. I think it was planned though. I think they both know.
Deep down.
Yeah, they're just not gonna, because they must have made so much money out of that. They've got DVDs and all sorts about that one thing.
Vince knows what he's doing though, doesn't he? Always has. So
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah. I don't know about now. Like have you seen him now?
He's a bit shriveled,
He's
isn't he?
dyed his eyebrows and his tash proper black.
Yeah, pretty grim.
Oh yeah.
I could chat about that. You were wrestling all night, mate. But yeah,
I know. So could I. Yeah, we'll be boring half the audience, though, won't we?
You just lost me.
We'll touch back on the football. What was it like playing under Gareth Southgate? Obviously, a man that has a split opinion with his sort of time in charge at England. How did you find him as a gaffer?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Obviously, he didn't give me my debut, but he kept me in the team when a lot of the senior lads were coming back from injuries. So I can't really say anything bad about him. And he always had our respect because he was our captain before he went straight to Manchester. So we respected him for that. And obviously, we knew how good he was, and he was a legend in the game when he won our first trophy for years, the Carling Cup. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good playing for him. I think he used me sometimes to get a bit of. He shouted at me more than the older lads, put it that way. So I took the brunt of a bit of his anger.
Would he have had a word with you? Would he have had a word with you? So listen, I'm doing this because I kind of have to, or is it just a case that you have to put up with it?
Oh no, yeah, I had to put up with it. I mean, he apologised one time because he proper had a go at me because I got sent off. But it turned out the guy was about 5 yards offside, and then I've ran back. I've caught him actually because I was quick then, shoulder barged him. But he's down. I've got sent off, and he told me that I wasn't listening the day before in training, which I wasn't like. But
we want grass playing with wrestling figures.
He blamed that for me. And I remember honestly that he was talking, and I was just in a daze looking off. And he went, "Weech, what did I say?" And I didn't have a clue. I just said something. I knew it wasn't the right answer, but I thought I'd have got a laugh and got a bit of a laugh. But then he shouted at me the next day. So it's probably your fault, wasn't it?
Could you foresee him being the England manager? Honestly,
no, definitely not. Maybe if he stayed at Borough and did a bit.
Yeah.
When he got sacked, yeah, we'd just gone joint top, I think, and he rang me because we were in a nightclub after the we played on Tuesday night and we went straight out. And he's rang me, popped up on my phone like the gaffer or Gareth Southgate, whatever I had. So I was like, oh my god. So I've not answered it. So I've ran out, so he couldn't hear anything, and he just said he'd been sacked. So we were shocked. So maybe if he stayed and done well there, he would have. But obviously, getting sacked from Middlesbrough, you didn't think he'd be England manager, and how well he's doing.
Well, he's not done well enough, has he yet?
He's not.
Yeah, needs to.
Well,
we need to win. Got a bit close, haven't we? But we need to win something.
I think that'll just about eclipse his missing 96 against Germany. That if he won as a tournament, in my mind.
We'll let him off.
Make up for it.
Yeah. First real memory of football.
Penners, don't we? It's what, sorry, mate?
It was one of my first England memories as a kid that he missing that penalty. So he's got a lot of making up to do for a lot of people of our generation.
I know. I mean, like my first World Cup I can remember was '94, and we weren't in it, were we? So that was weird watching that. I was thinking, well, why aren't England in it?
Yeah.
And then '96 was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So beating Holland 4-1, that was just class. But yeah, that fight was obviously was not very good, was it?
Lads of our generation, that was a tournament that we all fell in love with football, weren't it? Was that the same with you, '96?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously with the song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the 3 lines came out, the original version. Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, we always remember that. Yeah, and you had top players like I think Hadji was there, Stoichkov, Klinsmann, sort of players. But yeah, like you say, we remember.
Yeah.
Going from sort of watching the World Cup and idolising the players that are there to then getting into the England squad, I think it was under Fabio Capello, and obviously being called up and given that spot, rocking up around with sort of the likes of Beckham, Gerrard, some massive names. How does that feel? Turning up to a training camp with those sorts of names, and do you ever feel a little bit sort of overwhelmed by just the size of the names that are there?
Yeah, probably not overwhelmed. I was just so excited to meet them. But then you got to think your teammates now, so you can't get too excited. But it was funny that I turned up and Capello looked at me like he didn't have a clue who I was. So that was quite funny. I was thinking, you don't know. Yeah, your scouts have seen me. You don't know who I am, do you? But I've got the car down with Stewie Downing, which helped because he'd been there a few years. So at least I knew someone in Woodgate. I knew from Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And a few 21s players, like Joe Hart was there, who I played with. So that made it better. But when you go out training, it lifts your performance. So when you're with Gerrard, John Terry was there, Lampard, obviously Bex was there. Honestly, it was weird training with him because you've been watching him your whole career, and top players, and raises your game.
Did you go through any of them? Or did you want to?
I did, but I didn't. I went through Beck's first tackle, and I didn't mean to. But then he's done me like 2 minutes later. I thought, yeah, decent. But I didn't mean to. I went to get the ball, and I'd stood in his foot or something. But he's come back and straight got me. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Put you back in your place.
Would that be when he were at Madrid? Would that be when he were at Madrid? That.
Yeah, he was at.
Would have been, wouldn't it?
He might have been at LA Galaxy then. I don't know if exactly been end of 2000. It would have been 2008. I went there, so I don't know when he went to LA Galaxy. It was around that time. It might have been because I think we got off the plane and he just got in his private jet and flew straight off, which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah, asked for a lift.
No, I got a taxi at Middlesbrough.
Peter Crouch talked in his podcast not long ago, I think it was the back end of last year, about a party trick that you've become quite well known for. And I'm sure some of the viewers watching...
now. Sorry about this.
Which lady?
That's the watershed yet, Dave, so keep it.
I know, yeah. What time are we on? No, it's all right.
Yeah, some of the viewers will know what we're on about. But how do you find out you can do that, first of all? But then how does that work its way into the dressing room?
No, I was in the bath and I was just playing with it on. Like one of them, the little water top where you squeeze it, it goes through your hand and comes out the bottom. One of them,
the
water things. I was just doing that and it just went ping. It just went straight back inside.
Excellent.
I thought I'd lost it at one point, to be honest, and then popped back out, and I thought, decent party trick that. So anyway, I got any change room, break the ice, just get the party trick out. But yeah, doing it in front like Gerrard and Crouch is a bit mad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But he remembers it. So
when you thought you lost it, did you give your missus a shout and say, "Come on, help me find this"?
No, because I think I was still living at my mum and dad's house there, and then I couldn't really shout. Yeah, couldn't really shout my mum, could I? Anyone?
No, not really. No.
Flip round the bloody.
It came back. It came back, thankfully.
That is.
There's what is it? You sound, but is that the title now? It came back.
Oh yeah, we'll have to title it that.
Lost his knob.
So, do you remember the first time you brought that into the dressing room? What was the reaction like? Where did you sort of first think, I'll tell you what, I'm going to try this?
One of the other lads, I don't know. Be careful,
Ben. Be careful.
I know. Now, one of the other lads was showing us a willy trick as well, so I thought I can do better than this. I can't tell you what I'm doing. Or it was at Middlesbrough, and I thought I'm going to beat this. But then I was doing it to who was there? Woodgate will have been there. Mendieta maybe. He thought, what the hell am I doing here?
So Woodgate would have played for Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Lazio, Valencia, Barcelona. Yeah. And then he's looking at my thing. So
I've got something to tell you. Speaking of, go on, carry on.
No, I was just saying, I'd love to tell you what the lad was doing, but I can't.
Oh, go on.
No, you're just squeezing it and making the end go massive.
Okay.
Let it go. That's it.
Changing the subject completely, but going back to
that's us off air, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you ever seen The American Office, Dave?
I haven't. I haven't given it a chance.
I was going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that you're on it.
Yeah, I've seen a picture of that. Is it real?
It's real. Well, it's a screensaver that one of is it Idris Elba?
Yeah, I've seen a picture of it, but I thought someone had just put it on. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're on it. You're on The Office.
It's actually real.
You're in the
My
wall.
lad has just watched that. My child has just watched he's binge watched the entire thing.
Amazing.
I love the American, the English one, but I've not watched the American one.
It's better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Apparently,
it's a big old statement.
No, honestly, I always thought the English one was better, but no, it's better. Honestly. Anyway,
I remember watching the English.
You've got to watch it now to find yourself.
Yeah, I remember watching the English one when it first came out, and I didn't find it funny at all because I thought it was like a serious documentary. But then you're going back a few years, but you do, don't you? Just think, oh, he's a knob, isn't he?
Yeah, what is this?
You found out it's a comedy, and you thought, yeah, you are funny. You are funny, you.
No, but you're in the wall. I think Ronaldo's taking a free kick, and you're playing Middlesbrough in a blue shirt.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, in the wall.
Yeah, looks like the Inter Milan kit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's mad. I did see that picture, and I thought it was fake. So I'll take that now. Hopefully, get me residuals from the
royalties from that.
NBC or whoever does it.
You better pay for better internet then, wouldn't you? If you got that.
I know. Yeah. I'd love to pay for it, but they won't put it in. What are you drinking there?
Blackcurrant. I'm using a can of Stella, but it's a Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
It's a bit heavy. So obviously, talking about getting bollocked by Southgate for getting sent off, you've had a fair share of red cards, so to speak.
Not too many, though, have I?
No, when I was looking, there weren't too many incidents that I could find. You'd been quite modest compared to some, to be fair.
You got sent off at Arsenal. You got sent off at Arsenal at Emirates, and that ruined my afternoon. That cost me a fortune.
Yeah, because flipping Theo Walcott was running through. I thought, not catching you, am I? I only tackled him. He came in. I knew him from the under-21s and all the England age groups. He said, "Sorry, mate, I had to go down, didn't I?" I said, "No, not really, mate, but you did anyway."
I think that was your first red card for Bolton.
Yeah, well, I did that. Then Everton was a couple of games after, wasn't it?
Yeah, Michael Oliver dished you out another one. And I think
I blame Zach Knight for that. I blame Zach Knight because he told me to turn. And I did, and there was a bloody geezer there, so...
I bet you could blame Zach Knight. I bet you could blame Zach Knight for a lot of stuff, couldn't you?
Oh, no, yeah, he got to blame a few times, did Big Zach.
He did, yeah.
Were there any referees that every time they were officiating, you just knew you were going to get in the book? Were there any that you just thought, really? Not this fella again?
Nah, I hated Mike Dean, though, the way he looked. I think he follows me on Insta now, Mike Dean, but so I'll let him off for a few things, but he gave a penalty away at Sheffield United, and I didn't touch the guy. I was stood there like that, and he's just pointed to the spot and then not looked at me. Do you know? He'd give it one of them. Can you?
No. Obviously, there's a relationship obviously with the players and the officials, and there's a very different relationship between the officials and the fans. When you know that a decision has gone against you and maybe it's cost you a game or whatever, is there that tension, walking back down the tunnel? Are there words exchanged? What's common, sort of, because obviously they get some pelters from the fans, but...
Do you still see me here?
Yeah, we still got you.
Have you lost us?
Oh, the flipping... Yeah, it's gone. It's just because I haven't touched it for that long. Hang on, I need to shut the wife again. Laura, wait.
Laura to the rescue.
Thank God for Laura.
I know.
Good job she's in, isn't it?
I know.
I'll tell you what, when
you'd have to get one at kids if not.
Is she on screen now?
No, you just froze.
You're frozen.
How about it's coming? She's typing. Here we are.
You need to keep wiggling.
Am I on? And I'll keep wiggling it. There's a party trick. Sure that.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you've had a decision go against you and the officials have sort of given you a cold one, does it ever spill over into the tunnel? Do things ever get a bit heated?
What with the referees?
Yeah.
No, I never really. You are shocked by some of the decisions sometimes, but I mean, I've coached my little lads team, and I was reffing the other day because the ref didn't turn up, so I'm stood there with no whistle. And like my mate, one of the dads is having a go at me for you're not supposed to head it, but it's hit my little lad's head. Like you're supposed to give a free kick, but it was a good header, so I've let it go. But he said, "I can't believe you let that go." And I said, "Hey, you come do it then, mate." And I walked off.
So it's awful. It's so bad. It's terrible.
Yeah.
There's more. Those kids get more blooming. Or those child refs get more abuse than they do on a Saturday at a Premiership.
Shocking sometimes. We had like a semi-final, I think last month, and one of the dads had to get sent to the car park, and I'm thinking, what?
It's a cool day.
These lads are 6, mate. Relax. But
it's
then
awful.
I think
Have a word.
Yeah, he's offered the ref out. He said he'd be waiting in the car park for him. I had to say to the manager, I said, are you going to tell him to get off or what?
This is what happens when you move back up to Middlesbrough this day. This is what.
It's rough round here, mate. It's rough here. Not like Lostock.
No.
That's where I am.
I was Heaton near Retreat. I was Hillside.
Fanny's regular. Do you miss Fanny's?
I was in the middle of Fanny's and Retreat, so I'd Retreat for food. I think Fanny's for a pint. Yeah. Good, it just got too packed sometimes. It was boiling hot, wasn't it, in there?
Yeah.
Good though. Yeah. That little shop up the road, Christ, I spent some money in there. On sweets and stuff.
On the hill.
There's a dress code now. They've gone all posh and put a dress code on Friday.
Have they?
Yeah. You gotta be wearing smart clothes now.
Flipping it.
Rock up in your shorts and your sliders.
Exactly. What you put your suit on. Might do that next time. I'll put my suit on.
Dicky ball.
Yeah.
I got a question about the refs. Obviously, when you're rocking up to Old Trafford and Anfield and Stamford Bridge and all that, is there an element of like you got it in your head that they're going to get all the decisions? Like, is that even? Because ordinarily, looking back, they did, especially under Fergie, they got a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, but you don't really think of any. When you go in them grounds, you just want to get out there straight away and just like before the warm up. When it's taking forever, the manager's talking. You just think you want to just get out. You don't think about anything apart from just getting out there and seeing like 70,000 people. But it's mad, like because when you do initiation, like when I've sang songs in front of 20 of my mates, it's the most nerve-wracking thing ever. But when you go out in front of 70,000 people, you're just not bothered. You just want to get out there. It's weird.
Because you do.
Yeah. Don't think about it.
Because you're doing what you're good at, aren't you? Really, like you perform. You can do it. You don't necessarily know you can sing very well, do you? I would have thought.
I don't know. I was going to say I'm an all right singer, but no, you're right. It's
natural, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's comfort zone.
You're not nervous. It is, yeah. I mean, some players get nervous and they say that's a good thing, but never got nervous ever just to play football.
Did you not even so like? Do you know? What for you is a more like, and like what word I'm looking for? So you don't get nervous, but if you were fighting relegation or fighting for promotion, which would you not have nerves for either of those situations?
No, even when like we went 2-1 down, this Forest game, that last game of the season, I didn't get nervous that we were going down. I just thought I'm going to go up front and see what happens. And
that's it. Can't get any worse.
Yeah, but then we did.
Speaking of that game, I feel for you a little bit because obviously everyone always talks about our Will Brownsley, but you obviously got a pretty big goal in that game, didn't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get the recognition for it.
No plaudits for Dave.
Christ, Albie missed about 10 chances that game as well, didn't he? Scores one header and he's the hero of the day. But it was a bit. I don't think we scored 3 all that season. We were horrific that year. So when they went 2-1 up, we're probably thinking, it's not good this. But yeah, turned it around, didn't we?
What did you put that being so bad down to? Was it the tactics? Was it the camera? What was it? What was it that made you so poor?
Honestly, I don't know. I think that's a tough league, that championship. As soon as you start losing games and a run of games, it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
I thought, again, for me, I was always confident at football, but other players, they might feel that and be nervous on the pitch and stuff like that.
You look at the team that we had, like, obviously Anthony Robinson was there, weren't he? He's playing in Prem now, isn't he? Like, Alfie score goals anywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, he's flying, isn't he? Yeah, Alfie's doing well over Australia, isn't he? He's still going. I think he's older than me.
Yeah.
Do you ever fancy going Do you ever fancy going to Australia?
Do what, sorry, Matt?
Did that ever pop up, going to Australia?
No, I'm scared of snakes.
All right.
No. Anywhere where there's snakes, I'm not going. No chance.
So no, I'm a celebrity then.
If I see, no, I do it for the right amount of money, like. But nah, see a snake in your back garden, that's me done. I'm back to England. But I struggle in the pre-season in England. I struggle in the heat. Yeah. I can't do it, and over there, it wouldn't be for me.
Did you ever get any options to go abroad?
I think India got mentioned before I went to Oldham.
Really?
And I said I would.
Maybe we should have done that now, don't you?
Oh no, yeah.
What happened there?
It's hot as well over there, isn't it? But it'd be nice to like get away. Like I'm a proper homebody though. I just like being at home. Yeah. So I just obviously lived in Middlesbrough, then Bolton for 8.5 years. Didn't want to leave there. So yeah, proper homeboy.
Of all the sort of the characters you've come across, who was the biggest character in the dressing room over at Bolton? Who was someone that you could always count on to sort of lift spirits, get everyone sort of buzzing for a game, and who was that one person that stands out?
Do you mean like funny wise or get you up for sharp? When I first went, there were some funny lads. Robbie Blake was funny. Him and Robbo, they were very funny together. But there's not many bad lads in footy, to be honest. Everyone gets on. Stu Oldham was a good character. He was very funny. I think that change room when I first went, it was very good. We always used to mess with each other's clothes. I mean, you'd put them on the mannequins. They'd be up on top of the roof on the pitch and all sorts. And I'm thinking, I've just beaten Harvey Nichols for that. That costs a bit of money, and you're putting it on the training pitch, pal. You get that back in here. Stu was a good character. Then that League 1 year, obviously, Vela was one of my best mates. He was funny. Just everyone in that League 1 year was a good character. Even in the year, obviously, when we stopped getting paid and all that started, all that carry on started, we stuck together as long as we could. Obviously, we went on strike that one game, and that was a tough decision. We all stuck together, and the manager was right there with us. So that was a good old squad, that one.
You got to be happy for Parky now, aren't you? Given what he's doing.
Yeah, he's top draw. I always say he was our best manager. I think for us, sometimes think the fans didn't enjoy the football, but we knew what we had. Put it up to Big Gaz's chest and get set pieces, and me and Beeves will go score. So it worked for us that League 1 year straight up.
If you're winning, it don't matter, does it really? As long as you're winning football matches.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need. But yeah, he's done a cracking job there. Obviously, it's not the toughest job, is it now? Flipping it, they're spending all sorts of wages on players, but you've got to have someone good to manage all that as well.
Of course you do.
Which he is.
Got to make it gel, haven't you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think we all got to be happy.
That was like our League 1 year, because obviously I think I was the lowest paid in that League 1 year, to be honest, but other lads had the contract still from the season before, so and he sorted that as well. Some big wages and big egos, and he kept us together, and we got the job done in the end.
Yeah. Speaking of sort of characters in the dressing room, I saw a video not long back, and Fabrice Muamba was asked who had the worst dress sense out of the people that he's played with, and he picked you. He pulled you out of the hat. Who are you giving worst dress sense to over at Bolton?
Muamba.
Fab game.
Fabrice.
He used to come like flary jeans and stuff like that, and like a crappy leather jacket. It looked like, I don't know, that it wasn't leather.
Leather.
Skin tight, but yeah. Stu Oldham wore some dodgy stuff. Yeah, I'd probably say them two, Stu and Fabrice, only because he said me. Yeah. I think Petrov wore a few dodgy things, to be honest. But and Andrew Taylor dressed like an old man. He was only, I think he was like 32 when he was there.
Did he? He came through at Middlesbrough, didn't he?
Yeah. He was a year above me. Yeah, won the Youth Cup together. But I was with him from like 7 till 23. So yeah.
It was a solid 7 out of 10 man, weren't he? He
was good. Yeah, he was good. He just obviously when he retired, his calves were sore all the time. That's sort of like what I'm having at the moment. You get to see the old age. But yeah, good.
We've had a comment on the chat, and Liam has said, just going back to Fanny's, he said, was Wheats there when Vela got banned?
No, that was Retreat. That.
Or was it?
You know what? The guy who was arguing with was a proper knob, though. By the way, it was the barman. And I don't know what he thought he was. He was like, you footballers are all the same. We weren't even doing anything. And then Vels has heard that and had a go at him. But that was me. Obviously, I went there for food with me family and kids and that, so I've had to pretend I wasn't drunk and just keep the peace. And then got put in the paper, didn't it? That I was the peacemaker. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's the first. But yeah, it was his fault, like the barman. So if he's still there, I'll go see him.
You need to have a word with your mate. Anyway, Josh Vella, you made a right naughty challenge last week on one of our lads.
Naughty.
You didn't go down very well, that.
The tackle, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've seen it. It looked like 2 foot, but if you slow it down, he ends on 1 foot, doesn't he? But he has jumped in, the little bagger. Yeah. I think he just got excited being back at the stadium, didn't he?
He got a nice little round of applause.
Literally just a little clap.
In North Stand, and then all of a sudden he's going all guns blazing.
Yeah, it's a Salford in him.
Yeah, he won't get any at ball. I think he would get a bit annoyed, to be fair. What it were.
Oh yeah, he was like that in training. He was angry little beaver. He was. Yeah.
Speaking of training, if you can think back there, like who's the ones in training, like throughout the whole your time at Bolton, who hit them high notes in training every single day, but on a Saturday they just weren't at it. Like, have you got any that came to mind?
Sammy Amiobi, you wanted in your team for training. If you're doing 5 sides, you wanted Sammy. You wanted Sammy in your team. I mean, he did well. He had a few good moments in the
hot and cold,
obviously, didn't he? But yeah, he was a top trainer. Nooney was good as well in training. Then I think when I first came, I mean, Big Kev, he was a nightmare to train against. It was like he was playing the games, he just smash you and walk off. I think I've said that loads of times, but then I seen Rio Ferdinand said it the other day that he'd smash you, show no emotion, and then shake your hand afterwards. That's
what you want, though, isn't it? Really? Is that not what you want?
Training.
No, I guess.
I said to him, I said, why did you do that? He said, I don't know. He didn't actually
know. Did anyone ever have a quiet
play.
word and just say, "Fucking hell, Kev, steady on it"?
He did, but honestly, you couldn't hurt him. You see when he runs into Peter Cech and John Terry, and he just gets up, and John Terry gets stretched off with a broken arm or something, and Kev's there just walking about. Honestly, he was like made of cement.
He's a Sheffield lad, isn't he? Brought up different, isn't he? That's what
he is. Good drinker though. After a while, he used to get drinks in his Converse and start drinking them out with his shitty Converses. He could be up for
Are
work.
his shoes?
Well,
His trainers.
yeah, his trainers, yeah.
Well, after he'd had a few, he put in his trainers.
Yeah, start going in the Converse, yeah. He was a bad dresser, Kev, as well. That reminds me.
Did he dress like an old man as well?
Yeah, proper old man.
Imagine he would do, yeah.
Flares, baggy t-shirt.
Flirts. It's a lot of flirts going on in that dressing room.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were the fashion then, weren't they? I look back and, do you remember them Avisu jeans?
Yeah, with the V on the back.
Yeah, I used to think they were like, well, obviously they were cool back then, but I've still got some at my mum's and they're quite baggy as well. So
I bet they don't fit anymore, do they?
No, I won't get off my ass now.
Hey, what did you think of Martin Petrov? Random question.
As a player or a lad?
Player, yeah. As a player,
Yeah, I thought he was good. Obviously, it wasn't his best time. It was a bit getting on a bit, but he was still, his class was there. He was quick. But yeah, nice guy as well.
Was he?
But yeah,
did he not go and play Sunday League for a while? After I'm sure he did. Did he go and play in Manchester like Sunday League or something?
Yeah, he might have. Yeah, but Christ, he looked about 40 when I got there. So God knows what he looked like then when he left.
I always thought he was a decent player, and I just wondered from your perspective, did he offer as much as like he looked like from a fan's point of view? Like, he had a wonderful sport, didn't he?
Yeah, he was cracking left foot. Yeah, he was good. I can't say that he wasn't. He was a great player. He was a good trainer as well. Then you got Daniel Sturridge, who was there at the same time. He was top drawer, obviously not there long enough, was he?
No, he was something else, wasn't he?
Yeah, Christ. Yeah,
what about Gary Cahill, Dave? Did you expect what he achieved? Because he obviously won everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think you expect anyone to do as much as they do when they do well. But he was obviously a top player. But I knew him from we beat him in the Youth Cup, didn't we? So I mentioned that to him when I first seen him. And obviously he was my age, so we played against each other quite a lot of times. But he was a great player, good finisher as well. When he got chances, so yeah, it was. Yeah, didn't expect him to go and win Champions League in what was that, 6 months or something.
Yeah,
I think he won that. But yeah, cracking player. Him and John Terry were a fantastic partnership. Wish it was me playing with John Terry, but
do you never see it in some of the young lads? Do you never see them sort of rock up to training on a match day and some of the younger lads and think, yeah, you've got what it takes?
Yeah, you do sometimes. Yeah, I thought LutherConnell, I thought, was going to be a top player for Bolton when he first started playing. Velas was always good on the ball and stuff. Not many youngsters came through though, did they? After Cloughy was good when he first come in. And even Joe Riley. I think Joe Riley got man of the match on his debut. Joe Riley thought he was going to be a top player, but a few bad injuries and stuff. But yeah,
he made his debut against Stoke in that 5-0, didn't he, at Reebok?
Yeah, see, I played in that game as well. I should have played in the semi-final and we would have won 5-0. Coyley put me on the bench, didn't he? The tosser.
Yeah, Luke Connell's doing well at Barnsley, to be fair.
Yeah, no, he's a good player, but I just obviously wish he'd kicked on at Bolton and stayed there and done well there. But yeah, he was a very good player.
What have you got lined up for what's next for Wheat? Obviously, we could talk all day about.
I don't know, mate.
Everyone else, but
yeah, it is retirement age, isn't it, for a footy player? Like when I always used to hear like 35, you'll probably be retired. And I was thinking, I'm not going to. I'm going to play till whatever age. But it does, honestly. It starts hitting you all the injuries and stuff. Got a few offers around local teams around here, and I know the owners and stuff like that, which would be nice. Might lead to like sort of like other stuff there within that club. Starting my coaching badges now. Christ, that's long and tedious, but it's got to be done. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully start like a little football school, what they call it, soccer school around here, around Middlesbrough way. So yeah, I think that's the way, probably where I'll be going. I'd like to play another season. I like to get to 20 years career. I think I'm on about 18, maybe 19 now. So hopefully get a season or two more if I can.
And then you could go back to enjoy the chicken parmos.
Oh, the best them, Have you tried one?
Yeah.
I haven't, I haven't.
Have you tried? Where have you had one? Oh, you got Manjaro. Is Manjaro's in Preston still?
I had one on the way up to Sunderland last season. We stopped off en route up there, just a country pub, and they did them there, and I had my first one. It were unbelievable.
How nice are they? It's weird. It's weird that they've gone nowhere else in the country, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but you're probably try and, we'd all be even fatter than we already are, won't we? To be fair,
that's my problem. I train less and eat the same as I always have. But yeah, you can get one in Manjaro's in Preston. That's where I used to go for them.
I'm not far from Preston, actually.
Yeah, if it's still there, Manjaro's the top palmo.
I'm googling it as we speak.
Colin's dad actually just did a good shout in the chat. You'd be a good after dinner speaker, Dave.
Yeah, I've done a few, and I enjoy it, but I don't think I'd have the confidence to just freestyle, make stuff, be on my own. I like question and answers like this. So obviously I've someone there asking me.
Well, they'll just come with you.
No problem. I've done a few. I've done a couple with Under the Cosh. Obviously, they're there to ask the questions, so I enjoy that. And you can have a drink on stage and be daft and sing karaoke. So it's not bad, is it? It's not a bad night's work. So there is stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. Liam's just put a comment on. He said Dave has enough stories to fill hours. And that is absolutely the case. I'm sure we could go on for.
How many questions do you ask now?
Oh, he asked. Yeah, he's a good
one. Asked about 10 of them, didn't he?
We've left loads out, to be fair.
Yeah. There's a fair few coming in.
A lot of
No, we've not had anything from Pav. He's gone into hiding.
He won't be happy, will he?
He declined his offer, didn't he? We tried to get him on, and he.
Oh yeah, he'll be busy writing his book, won't he?
His memoirs.
There's probably a solicitor giving you a ring before.
I love watching his tweets. They're funny, aren't they?
But he disappears for ages, doesn't he? And then you think, he's gone, and then he comes back.
That's it. You give him a bit back, and then he deletes his account for 3 days, and then comes back.
Dave, Preston, it's still open.
Still open. Get yourself there, mate.
Nice one.
I think that's it's either a new. I think it's a borough company, Manjaro's.
It is. You're right, mate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't touched my thing. Hang on. Laura!
Wiggle your mouse.
Control. I know, but the passwords come up. I don't know a thing. Laura! Password! Forgot to wiggle the mouse, didn't I?
Yeah, it's gone.
You literally told just keep wiggling it.
Here she comes.
Oh my gosh.
She's typing.
She's trying to watch Coronation Street, Dave.
I know you've got. Here we are. I know you've got me doing this. Man City playing Real Madrid.
Out, Ziggy. We've not seen the dog.
You want to see the dog?
Yeah, go get the dog. Yeah, go get the dog.
He's a big fluffy sheep.
Careful when you pick it up, though. We don't want any injuries.
No, I won't be lifting it up. Here he comes. Oh yeah, he's
well like dogs.
Oh,
bless.
What a unit.
That's him.
What's it called?
One off your pot. He's gone. It's a nightmare to keep. Goes all matty because he's so furry after a dog walk. Hair stick together.
Brilliant.
Well, I think that is all we have time for. Thank you very, very much, all of you in the chat, for joining us. But of course, thanks to you, Dave. We appreciate you coming on.
Get some better internet next time.
Yeah,
it was all right.
We'll get back in touch.
We got there.
Hotspot worked wonders.
Hotspot, can't beat a bit of hotspot. Hot in the street. You need to get a fan in here or something as well.
That's all we have time for. But thank you all very much for joining us, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Who have you got next episode?
Just no one lined up yet.
I'll get you someone.
If you can.
Hey.
I'll sort it out.
Cheers.